When we're angry, we're more likely to take risks. On the road, this can mean poor judgment and being involved in high-risk situations that could result in a crash. For professional drivers, road stress is something you deal with every day as part of the work environment. The culture within workplaces and support for drivers is crucial. Anger affects how we interpret situations on the road. It alters how our brain processes information. This in turn impacts on our driving behaviours. An example of how anger impairs information processing comes from eye movement studies, which show angry drivers scanning narrower areas, increasing the chance of missing potential hazards in their periphery. Workplace, family, financial hardship, and health issues can contribute to anger. Regardless of the cause, it means your thoughts are elsewhere. Emotional exhaustion is a high-risk trigger for anger with professional drivers. Because professional driving is predominantly a solitary activity, and the journeys undertaken are constantly changing, it can mean sporadic eating habits, which could be increasing the risk of low blood sugar. And this results in anger, also known as hangry. Carelessness and dangerous driving by other road users are also known to be leading anger triggers for professional drivers. The triggers that evoke anger with professional drivers are individual specific, yet anger in response to frustration or provocation increases high-risk driving behaviours.
Probably other aggression might trigger my anger, but I think at the end of the day I have a lot of patience, so just unruly road rage behaviour might trigger my anger.
Yes, people not paying attention. Or if they're on their phones. I see so many people on the phones. You can tell when they're on their phones because they're not concentrating on what's driving the car. The car could be going side to side, slowing down, speeding up, braking all of a sudden. You know, I've sort of got to read that message. So, like I said, I've got to stay one step ahead of him in case something does happen to avoid that situation. But that's the anger that I get.
What triggers my anger would be possibly my mood at the time. I reckon, whether it be how I'm feeling, if something's going on at home, if I'm distracted.
When you go on a 2-lane road and the left-hand lane's going to end, right? So my theory is, it's fair, you let one in and one, right? But in a truck, I'll let 3 in, yeah? Sometimes I'll let 3 people spaces in, and the 4th one will keep pushing and pushing, being an emergency lane almost, right? And I'm like, mate, I've let 3 of yous in, like, and then they're giving me the bird, they're carrying on, and you know how aggressive they get? I'm like, can you see that? That gets me so angry. It's like, I've let 3 of yous in, mate. Like, I'm doing my bit and a bit more, and you're still having a crack.
Manage your anger. Identify what stress management strategies work best for you. Breathing exercises before or after the trip. Writing in a journal after a difficult situation on the road. Or talking to a mate. Discover what helps you and make it a habit. Know your triggers. Do your responses change depending on the driving context, time of day, or the seasons of the year? Why can some situations make you more frustrated than others? Ask yourself these questions to understand your triggers and better manage your driving behaviour. Don't underestimate how emotions impact your thoughts and actions. We're only human, and it's difficult to separate home from work. An argument or an unexpected event at home can become a recurring thought that captures all your attention. Identify what strategies could help you in challenging situations. For example, deep breathing, talking to a mate, writing in a journal, or making time for activities that you enjoy. Keep track of your habits. Are you sleeping enough? Do you feel refreshed when you wake up? Is the food you're eating energizing you? Are you taking any medications that could be affecting your capacity to drive safely? Could the music or drive time radio that you listen to in your vehicle predispose you to an angry reaction? As a professional driver, you're more exposed to road rage than most people. Invest time in learning how to identify and respond to these events.
I think try not to react is a bit hard. You notice that it's going to be a build-up of when the situation happens, but I think it's a bit hard to try and control that reaction. You know, the anger is there, but there's not much you can do about it. You try and avoid the situation if a situation does arise.
Yeah, it's not much, it's not really anger, it's more disapproval in other road users, because we're all in the same boat. So we're all in the traffic together. So let's just embrace the traffic. Melbourne's very congested. So, you know, you just plan your trip, plan how long it's going to take you. And then, so it doesn't so much trigger my aggression, it's just, disapproval of other people's behaviours, I think. Yeah.
You get over being angry. It's always the same things that happen. Somebody's cut you off, or somebody's not driving properly in their lane. And you do learn not to worry about it anymore. Yeah.
Did that take time?
It does, yeah, it does take time. Not to react, not to worry about it, and just get on with your life. Yeah.
So what do you do now? What happens if someone cuts you off in the truck?
Generally, I just let it go.
So I noticed first thing in the morning, probably between the hours of 6 and 9, there are a lot more aggressive drivers on the road that are obviously have somewhere to be, and they're rushing. And then the same thing in the afternoon, everyone's trying to get home. Whereas I find probably between 10 and 2, everyone just seems to be pretty cruisy at those times. But there's always people out there that are whipping in front of you and pulling up and speeding around you, and you know, you just got to be aware and have that defensive driving ability to sort of, I guess, see when someone's coming and be able to just like wait for them to go before you indicate or something.
Consider training drivers on how to manage anger when they're confronted by the potential dangers posed by other road users, as well as strategies that may help them manage anger and avoid using the vehicle to express it. When it comes to training, identify specific stressful situations that staff usually face. Encourage drivers to understand these negative events through a new frame. This means looking at the situation with a different lens and using different ways to respond. Be mindful of age and cultural background differences in the group. We're all taught or have developed different ways to express and manage our anger. Develop a step-by-step plan for drivers to safely respond in difficult situations. Describe what anger in those moments could feel like and the potential risks. Discuss why anger-led reaction isn't worth it. Go through the potential consequences and the benefits of not engaging by reacting angrily. Encourage your staff to be familiar with the different support resources for the industry and how to easily access them. Mobile apps, national or state phone services, or counselling options to help manage anger and its dangers. Create a work environment that supports drivers' well-being and that can alleviate the stress of the profession. If you have need of support, please call Lifeline on 131 114. Beyond Blue, on 1300 224 636, 1800 RESPECT on 1800 737 732, Men's Line Australia on 1300 789 978, or 1300 Driver on 1300 374 837.